Yes, people, back again. Where the I'll sleep the Parliament Monday evenings. World Cup is done. Spain are the champions. Argentina were embarrassingly bad, but we'll get into that. First things first, returning original Owl. Shawnee, how's it going, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I might be returning a bit later than anticipated purely because my lag is awful. So apologies in advance. But yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me. Can't wait to get back into it.
Yes, good
Is it that
stuff.
bad,
Good
Stocks?
stuff. Fantastic to have you back. Well, Sean's clearly doing better than his internet is right now, but we run with it. John, you all good? You've had a couple of weeks off?
Yeah, do you know what? Like, I think like normally I try and come in and say something witty and funny off the bat, and like honestly, this is one of them times where like it's not just my face that's burnt at the moment. Like it's genuinely been a bit of a burnout couple of weeks. Um, I'm beyond grateful to see you guys, and it's just like I think there's an awful lot to be said for just getting together with your mates and being able to have a conversation about something we all love. And
Yes.
genuinely, it's like not to be soppy straight out of the gate, but it's a genuine thank you to the three of you and to the others that aren't here. But it's like this is genuinely something I really miss doing when I'm not doing it. So thank you, basically, is all I can say.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback on that before we bring stocks in because even people that don't want to put stuff online and they just want to have a chat about football or whatever, if you can get a couple of mates together just to do this, because that's why we started it. We weren't seeing each other enough of having these chats down the pub, and they genuinely do make things just feel a little bit better just because you're having a chat. You could be having a crap day. The amount of times I've been having a crap day, 10 minutes before I come on, you jump on, you have a chat, you leave the shows so much more better. You don't even need to put it out to other people, just chat with your mates.
Yeah.
Mental health and all that, it's a big thing these days, and these type of things genuinely help.
Yeah.
So yeah, great message that, John. Love it. But Stocky, how you doing?
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
know why I
alright.
said that like Joey Tribbiani there.
Yeah. Well, what are we eating? Um, yeah, I'm alright. It's weird. I got over the World Cup quickly. Now I'm like, yay, club football. Let's get back into it.
Yes,
Like,
true.
I've had lots of train journeys today, so I've been crashing out through championship podcasts. I'm ready to go, but
Good boy.
I've got some grievances still to spew from the World Cup that I wasn't able to completely unload on John and Shawnee at the last week.
Yeah. One thing I do want to do before we get too into the show, I want to say condolences to the Keegan family.
Yes.
News came out today. Kevin Keegan, 75 years old, passed away of cancer. Legend at Newcastle, legend at many other clubs. He played for Man City, he played for Hamburger, where he won what was European Player of the Year, which is now seen as the Ballon d'Or. He managed England, played for Liverpool, managed City, so many other teams. Great man. He is lauded. He's considered a great at like three of the like six clubs he's been at, and that says a lot about him as a person. So, thoughts out to the family. Big up Kevin Keegan.
I saw a quote this afternoon where he says, "I was the most ordinary player to win it." Just a very humble man.
Yeah.
Let's not.
And I think
he won it back to back.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I should have said most ordinary player to win it twice. Sorry, yeah, that was a good quote.
Back
I think
to back
also
at
for us
Hamburg.
lot as well, like from a nostalgia standpoint, I guess for probably at least three of us, I think he was a massive part of our formative years in football. Like, obviously Mitch for you particularly, but like they were called the entertainers for a reason, and they were like getting into the sport at like a young age. Like that Newcastle team were a big part of what I grew up watching. So yeah, forever grateful for that, man. It was a great side.
Yeah. He did a lot more in the city as well. It wasn't just a football team he put together. He seemed to galvanise the city. He always seemed to say the right things, make the right choices. So yeah, big up Kevin Keegan. Condolences to everybody, his family, friends, anybody close to him right now, and just the people he touched as a whole. As a whole throughout his career and throughout his life. It's always a sad time when you lose anybody, let alone such a great man. So yeah, big up King Kev. Right, so let's get into it. World Cup final. I'm guessing everybody watched it yesterday. Anybody can go first. Thoughts on yesterday's World Cup final, Spain, Argentina.
It was just a bit of a shame that the football interrupted all the pageantry that went alongside it, right? You know, like pageantry that went alongside. Yeah, don't know. It felt to me like it was most of the tournament. I felt that the football was kind of a minor inconvenience. Am I really blurry or like doubling up or something?
No, I think that might be short.
Someone's echoing.
I think that's short dripping in and out.
I just wondered if it was because I'm not with headphones, but it just seemed to me like the whole tournament, the football just kind of got in the way of all the other stuff that they wanted to put alongside it. And last night really felt like that. I don't know. It was it's but I mean by miles probably like the worst World Cup final like in terms of a football match in our generation. Like I'm trying to remember if any of the others may have been worse than that. Like surely not. I mean, God, compared to like what we had 4 years ago, it was almost the antithesis. Like,
yeah, it was. I actually don't only blame one team for that. To be fair, I thought Spain played really well in patches, some really lovely patches of football, and I thought Argentina were just embarrassingly bad. I don't even think they were playing the same sport at times. It was just such a strange performance, and yeah, it was just odd to watch. I was sat there thinking, what are they even trying to do at the minute? I couldn't quite figure it out at all.
Hey, sorry.
Oh, he's back in the room.
IT technician and all. Bloody
yeah, couldn't get his computer working. That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
It's getting sacked in the morning.
Yeah.
See, I'm just not used to this level of professionalism, lads. I apologise.
Are you saying we were slapdash back in the day?
Yeah, well, it's certainly got a lot better since I started. Let's say that. I look really disinterested on all of that, but I was really just stressing on my phone. You can see, like, I'm sweating and everything, but I'm ready to go now.
Those nervous sweats trying to get everything sorted.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so what were your thoughts on the final then, Sean?
Yeah, same really. Like, it was, I think speaking to everybody like at work today and just in general, everyone had the same sort of opinion that they really wanted Spain to win. I think before the game, but especially during the game, just watching the way that Argentina played. Don't get me wrong, I like sort of different ways of winning games, but that yesterday just seemed to take it sort of beyond the line. I know they was doing similar against England, but I don't know, just Spain just sort of, they just embodied football last night. The way they play the game is just amazing. They're not like relying on a single player, even though they have got amazing players. They just, the whole team, they just bring everyone up. I think the fullbacks are, we probably go into it in more depth later, but the fullbacks are a great example of that, where like they've been underperforming all season, but like the rest of the team just bring them up. Whereas I feel like Argentina's the opposite. Like there's a lot of parts there, and they're not really sure what to do. But yeah, just in general, just so happy that Spain won, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Stocks.
One bit I really liked about Seany is like liking people doing it other ways. I think that's really important in football, because if you listen to all like we'll call it the mainstream media. Look at us, our little rebel ship over here. But yeah, the mainstream, you have to play one way, and it's got to be football and all of that. I don't mind teams that, you know, get in your face, put you off, make it ugly. But Argentina have got some cracking footballers, like top tier footballers, and there are parts of the game which is really good, but there's no need to do that. Like, you're still packed full of world-class players. This isn't a side battling League 2 relegation. This is the pinnacle of the sport.
Yep.
And that really annoyed me. Like, also I have to chuck in that, because I've just got to say it. From an England perspective, it pissed me off even more. But I've read into it a bit more with the state of Argentina and like the circumstances and why they play like they do and how they've got to this point. You know, the BBC, the bloke on BBC who always gets trotted out for South American stuff.
Vickery.
Yeah.
Phil Vickery. I saw him do a little. Thanks, boys. You were on the point there. I saw a little 2-minute clip of what he was explaining about it all, and it was quite interesting. And I was like, oh yeah, I understand that. And I was having a chat with our good friends Sam Hargreaves and Chris earlier on, and I was like, there's certain parts to Argentina I'm almost envy of, like their togetherness. Like they would run in front of a bus for each other, wouldn't they? Like their pride, the shirt, everything. You're like, oh, I'd like to see England players busting with it and like killing themselves for that, but they took it too far, and that's what sort of negated everything. And then like there's shit housing, and then there's just being nasty. And it's not even not the like Enzo's second yellow. Like, how have you possibly got the goal to say, well, it's not a free kick, it's not a booking, and things like that? And you're like,
mental. The
surrounding the ref, like it was Portugal-esque the way they surround the ref and hand them, and it was just horrible. Any sort of, for me, any goodwill I had towards them was just knocked out of it. They're better than that.
I know it's low-hanging fruit to say it, right? But I work in a profession where we talk a lot about learnt behaviours, and what you accept is what you kind of get. Now, to me, I think the reason Argentina kind of behaved the way they did at points last night is because, to be honest, they've got away with it all tournament. Like, and it's been accepted. Like, quite often, like, that wouldn't have been a second yellow. That, like, this ref seemed to stand up to it a bit more. Whereas I think actually, and I appreciate it's low-hanging fruit, and I've had several arguments with people in different groups about this, but the treatment, the favourable treatment that Argentina have received, not just for me in this tournament, I think in the last World Cup as well, it was a similar story. It wasn't as widespread in terms of how much it was talked about, but yeah, I just think it's learnt behaviours. Like they've gotten to a point where that's been tolerated, so they expect it.
Yes. Have to agree. And even like even yesterday they'll say, yeah, we got a guy sent off and this and that, but they got decisions before that. Like, it might only be small things that don't fully affect the game massively, but their right back just pulling on the winger as he turns to run past him as the ball's going over the top. It's a yellow card. The foul that should have been given against Porro on the edge of the box. The goal that Spain got disallowed, that was an absolute joke. Like, these are decisions that I think everybody would agree that are just wrong. Like, it shouldn't be happening.
Do you know the one that really got me? And it was from a player I didn't really expect it from. So Lamau dinked it round someone on the touchline. And I think it was Alvarez, like, literally climbed on his back, like, held his arm and tried, like, getting his legs over him. And
on his Achilles, yeah.
Like, yeah. And I was like, this is disgraceful. And it weren't even looked at. Now, I'm going to quantify this with some of Argentina's bashing, especially on socials, has been over the top because Ronaldo virgins have been doing it. But some of the decision making has been so bad. Like, like how they've escaped a couple of the games. Was it Egypt? To a degree,
all of their knockout games.
What was the one?
They played us. They got away with it. They played Senegal where they were 2-0 up and Senegal threw it away. They played Egypt who threw it away from 2-0 up. Like they've the whole of this knockout stage, they've been lucking their way through. And like they've only been playing the last 10-15 minutes of most of these games, and they've somehow managed to get to this point, which is bonkers.
Does that not that infuriated me as well? That like they've come across this way to play, right? And then they go a goal down or 2 goals down. Then all of a sudden, they just play good football and start pressurizing the team. I'm like, it pisses me off even more. You can do this from the start. You've got quality players.
Yeah, on the ref, I don't know if my bar's like really low, but I thought that he didn't have a bad game last night. Again, I don't know if that's purely because some of the games I've been watching has been awful. I agreed with Rooney. Again, I thought he was outstanding last night on a few things, especially the half-time show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when he said that he didn't, I think McAllister won is a booking. And again, I think Shearer got it bang on in commentary that 15 minutes later he's 100% a booking. But I think giving a booking that early does change the game, and like not in Argentina's favour. I know that, and that's why it is favourable towards them. But I don't know. I don't know if handing out a booking that early would have made the game just like a bit of a free for all in the wrong way. I actually thought the ref had a decent game last night. I don't think he got anything wrong. I know he did miss a couple, but again, I don't know if my bar is just so low, as I say. But I don't think it was the worst performance from the ref, to be honest.
No, I
Especially
don't think
in
he
them
was terrible.
circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he was terrible at all. I think he made a few decisions that were very, like, I get what you're saying about the yellow card being early, but I think that can only apply to things that aren't so obvious.
Yeah.
Like, he was completely done. It's not like he missed a tackle by a millisecond. He was completely done and just dragged the guy down when the ball was going over his head. And
it's clear.
the one on Pedro Porro, yeah, he made a decision at the time, could go either way in a lot of games. But the worst one for me was the goal. The ref,
Yeah.
I think he felt Martinez got hit, then he disallowed it for that. And then when VAR looks at it and doesn't let him have another look,
Yeah,
I think that is an absolute shambles of a decision, because I can't see how that's ever a foul in any way, shape, or form.
I also think had that happened up the other end, the goal would have stood. And I like that. And that sounds, I know that sounds so basic and easy to say, but honestly, I've had such a problem with it, like all through the tournament. It's that it's one rule for them. And it really has felt that way. And so, like, and I could rattle off a load of occasions in this tournament alone, but like, I genuinely think VAR, like not intervening there was quite telling.
Yeah.
Are we saying Argentina, the national version of Arsenal? Is that what we're saying?
Well, they missed a few penalties, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you think, that Argentina were falling into the trap too much of just playing around Messi? Because they've got some genuinely class players, like some really good players. And it's like they just don't bother trying to make them effective. It's do everything we possibly can to make Messi as effective as possible. And in games like last night, where it looked like he just wasn't at it or he wasn't getting the ball, they have no other plan. Like, literally no. They had no shots on target in 90 minutes of a World Cup final. Like, that is so bad. Surely one of those players, like you've got Alvarez and you've got Lautaro Martinez and Enzo Fernandez is a decent player. They've got a couple of other decent players dotted in and around there. And they're just not even trying to make these players effective. They're literally like, we'll do all the running. We'll make sure we get the ball to Messi. He'll deliver us something. And yesterday, it was clearly never going to work. And they just continued down that same path.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I think you can get away with that against teams where you're going to have a lot of the ball. But especially against Spain, you can't afford to be... you noticed it so many times yesterday where, I mean, it's hard enough playing against Spain 11 v 11, the way they pass the ball around. Messi is just... he's the greatest player to probably ever play the game. But you can't afford to be a man down against that Spain team. Like, they're popping it around. And players, I know they're willing to do the work for him because he can produce that bit of magic. But it's to their detriment. Like, they are a better team than what they've shown in this tournament. I agree. Like, Julian Alvarez is being touted as a £150 million player or wherever it is. Like, you've got Lautaro Martinez. You've got like midfielders in there that can do more than what they're showing. I think like they're being told to do a job to satisfy Messi. And don't be wrong, he's had an amazing tournament. But I think last night showed that maybe it's just one too many. Like as I mentioned earlier, like it's a team game. You can't rely on him just to pull you out every single time.
And I think when you're playing against the Spain team like that, you could argue maybe they were a man down even before Fernandez was sent off if they're playing like that, to be honest.
Yeah,
If that's the game plan.
Even the commentary said it a couple of times. Off the ball, Argentina were down to 10 pretty much every single time.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just that he wasn't pressing that much or doing any of that. The defenders knew that even if we push up, we don't need to mark him that closely, because if the ball goes over the top, we'll catch him. Kabasi's catching him. Even if he's got 5 yards, over 40 yards, he's catching him pretty easily, I reckon, if he's got a 5 yard start. So they're just like, we can just do what we want here. And they've got nothing going the other way, which is just bonkers to me. And they don't even play, like, they play kind of a 4-4-2, one winger. Like the other guy, they had a centre midfielder out wide just to sort of cover the running a bit.
They were both centre midfielders out wide, essentially.
Oh, what, that Gonzalez geezer's a centre midfielder as well? Yeah, I thought he was an actual winger.
Oh.
It's not Man City,
yeah.
Gonzalez. It's another geezer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose he is more of a wide player than the other one. But yeah, I mean, they just got found out against a fantastic side. And I think the key is, remember, it's a football cliche for the older boys. Like when my dad used to take me football, people would say this in the stands. It was like possession's 9/10 of the law.
Yeah.
And Spain just kept it. And there's no way Argentina can build up any sort of pressure with the way they've played, because they just didn't have enough of the ball to build any pressure. And it highlighted all the deficiencies. And I suppose that's what good football teams do. They accentuate their positives and they also accentuate the other side's deficiencies. And Spain done it perfectly. And does anyone else embody it more than Rodri? Whew.
Yeah, what a player, by the way. And considering people middle of last season were like, oh, he's been injured, his legs are gone, he's not going to be the same. And he comes and delivers that throughout the whole tournament, by the way. Because Spain, who conceded 1 goal against Belgium in the whole tournament, Rodri falls into a massive part of that because he protects that back four so well. But yeah, let's talk on Spain, because some of the little intricate patterns of play they played last night were just ridiculous. And they've got a player who you could argue that at this point in time is as good as Messi when he's on form. And they just play their normal game. They don't pander to him. They don't try and get the ball out to him too much. They just play through all of their other good players and they look a much better side for it. And yesterday showed it. Look, I'll bring up the sort of stats from the game just because it was a complete domination. And that's slanted slightly because that's including extra time. But Spain had 20 shots. Argentina had 2. Argentina had none on target. Spain had more shots on target than Argentina had shots in Spain. I mean, touches in Spain's box. Like, that's the kind of stats you see in the FA Cup third round where Manchester City play someone from League 2. Like, what is going on? It's a World Cup final.
I think with such a dominant display from the team, I think it's a nice point to mention De La Fuente.
Yes.
Who won titles with Spain under 18s. Was it under 19s, under 21s?
Yeah.
Brought it to the senior side. The team's king. And it's a really interesting quote. It got bandied about a bit at the weekend, but I'd seen it previous to that, where essentially it is like, you can be the best player, but if you're not a good person, you're not coming in. You're not in the squad. And you look at that side and he chopped and changed a few people, like Pedri started, the bloke from PSG played a bit more. I mean, they've not even got a real forward, but he's just got such a harmonious side that it all just seems to come out smelling of roses. Porro don't even look like the same player.
Oh yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke how different he is.
As a wise man once said on this pod, mate, attitude over attributes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something to it.
And they've got players like Gavi, Pedri that didn't get as many minutes as you'd assume. Like Kabasi won Young Player of the Tournament, who's just perfect. They've still got loads more players to come. Imagine if they had like a forward of sort of David Villa proportions. Like,
mate. But this is the reason Spain is so good is because exactly what you've just said there about the manager. They look at it as a holistic thing in the national side, and that's just not the over like the standard national side. That's throughout. They play the same system. They play the same way. They have just a set group of players that they're preparing to go into their full national team, and they know exactly what they're going to do every time they get there. It's not just a case of let's pick a manager that's going to have a system and not roll that throughout all the other teams. Because I'll guarantee you, in England, pretty much all of the youth sides play a completely different way to what the senior team play. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen at a club. A club, all the teams should play the same way through. Because if you need a player to step up, they know the role already. You just drop them in and away they go. And Spain have been doing that since they've started becoming successful. Because before that, when they had the Villiers and they were seen as like the failures of international football because they'd never won anything and they never really got to finals, they've completely flipped on its head just by doing that.
I think that's what was so impressive about last night as well. Like, hats off to the manager. And I think Scaloni, the opposite, and like a lot of his changes didn't make sense. The right back change, for example, like I thought, I don't know if there was an injury there, but was it Montiel? I thought he was doing well at right back against, I know he was against Baena, and Williams did come on and make a huge difference. But I think that was helped by the fact that the right back that was come on looked like a pub player. He was like running in treacle like a lot of that second half, especially in the first half of the extra time. And I just thought like the changes that he made improved Spain, and the changes Scaloni made didn't. Like Williams, for example, I thought Pedri come on and was brilliant. To come on and like improve a midfield of Rodri and Ruiz is impressive. But I thought he came on and was just doing exactly what he needed to do. Like Ruiz obviously was there to sort of sit in front with Rodri, but I think by that point they realised that they didn't need to do that. So Pedri could go a bit further forward, and just like the little cross that he put in, I think Nico Williams had a header that he just like slightly missed. That would have been a great assist. I think he come on, he knew what to do. Williams done the same thing, come on, get your fullback. I think a lot of the changes were excellent and at the right time, whereas Scaloni sort of done what Tuchel done and he couldn't go back there. Once he made all them defensive changes, he was set, you know.
Yeah. It was like he started a side that was just a little bit more manly, that could deal with all of Argentina's nonsense to a certain point. And then he brought on the younger, more hot-headed centre midfielders that you've just mentioned, Gavri, Pedri.
Yeah.
And Nico Williams, who's a little bit softer, he doesn't really get involved in a challenge as much, just to take the game away from them completely rather than having to put up the fight.
And I think that's where England kind of suffered a bit the other night. I thought we got drawn into it at quite early in terms of the nonsense. And yeah, I think it showed, like, particularly in the first half, we lost, like, we started the game a lot better. And we lost a lot of control of it, largely because we started falling foul of, like, some of the nonsense.
A little bit, but I think we did the complete opposite to Spain. Whereas Spain got progressively more into the game and then decided to go more and more on the front foot to take away what Argentina had going the other way even more. Whereas England got the goal and did the exact opposite and reverted more defensive and more defensive and more defensive, which just allowed Argentina to start playing football. And I think that's what fucked England the other night.
Yeah. Are we going to use that as a segue to get into that game?
What, England-Argentina, or the madness that was Saturday night?
Oh, no. We'll start with the negative and then we'll get to the positive. Is that fair?
Yeah, let's go for it. Where do you think the fault lies for it not being England in the final? Because for me, for 70 minutes of that, it fully looked like it. Argentina were going the exact same way as they did last night. Didn't look like they were really going to get a shot on target of any kind of note. And then all of a sudden, we were just like, go on, play some football.
Yeah. Contributing factors. I really read into it a lot this week. So, because I was out with Seany and John watching the game, and at the time I was absolutely gutted and disappointed, but I weren't angry. And as predicted, my anger come 2 days later when I had time to think about it and, to a degree, sober up. But that's a conversation for a different night. you know what? I've listened to tacticians, so like like your tactical journalists like Michael Cox, is very good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you boys saw it, but on socials, Andros Townsend done a little breakdown too, which I thought was really good in itself, to a degree. And then I've listened to former players, and then obviously there's my own opinions in that initially I thought the subs killed it.
Yeah.
And there's lots of contributing factors, but for me personally, it was. I know Tuchel made these subs, and he doesn't want them all to sit back. But everything you do, there's a context to it. There's in between the lines. And if you take off 3 attackers and bring on 3 defenders or defensively minded players, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think that message shows everyone? Whether or not you've told them to play another 15 yards up the pitch, if you've brought on a defender, everyone's going to think, well, we're going to settle in now.
Yeah.
And also, inversely, it's what it does to the other side. Because if you're Argentina, they're going, well, bringing on a load of defenders. There was absolutely nothing to keep Argentina honest. And again, Harry Kane had a good tournament. But when push came to shove, we couldn't keep the ball to give him anything. So he just stood there, just watching the ball go over his head when we were clearing it for no reason.
You know what?
I like to keep defenders honest. And if we can't use him to keep them honest, then what's the point?
I get what you're saying, but Kane proved was it the Congo game?
Yeah.
You just can't take him off. The fact is, you need to keep players in and around him. The thing that I'm a little bit more scathing of Kane for was there was a couple of times he dropped in deep and was doing exactly what all the other players were doing. When you need your captain to step up and calm things down, he was dallying on the ball in our own box, got caught on it, and it's like, you're the main man here. I know Bellingham was the main man of the tournament, but factually, Kane's the main guy. Show the players what to do. How do you play out of this situation? Calm things down and try and help them if you're going to drop in that deep.
I mean, what's he going to do in free kicks? So why don't he go stand on Romero and go, if we're going to clear it, I'm just going to back in and try and win something, even if he did that.
Yeah. Either of the centre-halves, Martinez is guilty of.
They're both so rash, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I completely agree. It's keeping them honest. Like I think the point where the game changed was Gordon for Konsa. I just think Gordon's got
100%.
that threat where his pace just terrifies that back line. And then once you bring him off, they can step like 5-10 yards further forward because they can catch Kane. I know on the other side, was it Rodgers on at the time?
Yeah, but Rodgers isn't rapid though, is he? He's quick. But
No,
he's not
exactly.
rapid.
Yeah. So I think that just definitely was a sign of intent, and Argentina just thought, we can step further forward here, and I was just disappointed, like very disappointed.
Yeah, I that for me was the moment that I thought, what are we doing? Because if I was playing centre back in that position, at that time, and you see Gordon come off, I'd just be like, right, the rest of you can go a little bit further.
Oh God!
Because if the ball goes over my head, I'm catching him, and I'm catching him.
Yeah.
So you go and play, and I'll deal with everything going this way now because we need a goal. We're 1-0 down. Go and have it, and that's just what they've allowed them to do, and it's just not good enough.
Nah. And people were saying, "Oh, well, Gordon's probably tired." No, he ain't. That's his MO. That's his special move. He's just running as long as the day is.
But
even if he is, bring on Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if you go like for like, then I think it's fine. But it was just such a sign to them of, we're scared of you when we didn't need to be.
Yeah. Like leave Gordon on, put Rashford on the right for Rodgers.
Yeah.
Or there was so many different alternatives, and this kind of links into the France game a tad. But all right, Rice is injured. I don't care if he's starting; he can probably get through the game. So don't take him off. Mm-hmm. And Saka, like I'm not his biggest fan, but you can't have a game like that on Saturday and not even appear on the Wednesday.
But what did we say last Monday? We said the same thing. Whether Saka's got 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 15, 20, that's the start of the game. Go and win the game, and then you can start removing these players. He didn't even get off the bench. That is dumb. And he's clearly our best winger.
Yeah. Any like I know I said we'll go on like we should go on to the France that was the positive, but whilst we're at the Argentina bit, any sort of at the time, any joy I had in the France game watching this attacking verve and going for it, I'm like, why have we not had any of that on Wednesday? Why are these players like running through brick walls now and we didn't have that on Wednesday?
Yeah,
It
and that
can't
was
all be Jordan Henderson's speech.
that was Tuchel's like memo when he came in, wasn't it? It was like excitement, and that last 20 minutes was not exciting at all.
Well, that last 30, 40 wasn't, like once we scored,
And
like
that's what he was brought in to do.
55?
Yeah,
4 passes completed or
Yeah.
something like that. And like a lot of people gone, oh well, if before the tournament, if you'd offered semi-finals, you'd say that's par for the course.
No.
And right, this is what you pay big money for. I would have predicted semi-finals, decent tournament, but when you're 1-0 up in the second half of a semi-final, that's why you pay people like Tuchel 20 million or whatever what he's getting for them decisions. You can't revert then and go, oh well, you got to where you thought you were. If you're winning the game, you do what you can. I'm not saying you go full Argentina and go around kicking everyone, but you do. That's where you earn your money. You could have had a number of English managers that could have gotten to the quarters in this tournament, couldn't you?
Yes.
That's why we pay him the money, and he's not done it.
100%. And as much as I agree with, someone said you can have a semi-final before the tournament, you could have been like, cool, I might take that. But you'd want to lose to a really good side. And you'd want to lose in a way that you don't come away from the game thinking, we fucked that.
Yeah.
Like, if we had played Spain or France and we'd put up a good showing and we'd lost 2-1, you'd be like, what can you do? They're just good. They're just that good. But no one can walk away from that game and think we've lost because Argentina are just that good.
Yeah, I mean, how much time like was Messi afforded, like in deeper areas and things like? And we were talking about sort of like Rodri and oh god, sorry, it's gone out of my head. Rodri and Reese. It's like, to be honest with them two, you haven't really seen better protection since Bradshaw and Farouk were in business. So like, but with us, like they we scored the other night, and then he was literally just walking through at points. He was just strolling. And how many? Because I think that's the other thing we haven't mentioned is, all right, we lost 2-1, but how many chances were there in the lead up to that? It could have been 4. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, easily have been 4.
He was given so much time, a ridiculous amount of time.
I mean, as we've got him back, Seany, what do you think about Jordan Pickford? Absolutely.
Sorry, Mitch is probably oblivious to this, but
yeah. Seany had a stand-up row with Mixer arguing about Jordan Pickford for at least half hour.
I'm guessing that Mixer was in favour of Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
Surprised.
It's just I think it was one of the moments I think where I was a bit like, told you so, and I sort of went on a bit too long. I must admit. But it's one of them things where and it's not just like Mixer says it. I've heard it from so many England fans. Sorry, when you say about Jordan Pickford, oh yeah, but he's been great for England. Yeah, until he's not. Like, that's the issue. That, like, we all know there's a brick in him, and that's where I struggle with Pickford. I dislike goalkeepers that do too much. Vicario, I watch him every week, and he's out and he's screaming at people. Like, if I'm a defender, I don't want someone to be agitated behind me. I just want that calm presence and come out, collect it, do what needs to be done. Like, I just think that's where, and yeah, he did have a decent tournament. I think he could have saved the one against Congo. I think definitely the one against Norway, and he tips one over the bar that's going over the bar already. Like that's 3 mistakes.
Which they literally scored from that corner as well, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, I personally, and I did sort of caveat this when I was having the argument, that I do personally think he is England's best goalkeeper, but that is the problem. Like, we haven't got anyone better, and that's what come and hurt us in the end. So I think that was what I was trying to get at, basically. But yeah.
Well, but to be fair though, at times there's been a discussion to be had around who England's best goalkeeper is, because there has been other goalies that have kind of come and gone since Pickford's been number one for England. But like you said, there's always been a mad moment in it. And I'm the same. I hate these autistic goalies, the ADHD kids that just get involved in the nonsense and play up to the crowd and all of that stupid stuff. Like, no, I don't care about all that. Just do your job, bro.
Yeah.
Catch it and kick it. He started like going around and barging people early on in the game. Like you say, you just got to, and it encourages them.
Yeah.
It encourages them because I'm sure we've all wound up opposition previously, and as soon as you get a bite, you do it more.
Yeah, 100%.
We do it to each other on here, down the pub. As soon as you get a bite, you do it even more.
Yeah, I was outrageously good at that, and that's probably why it annoys me when I see players that look like they're trying to do it, but then it's just not working, and you're just making yourself look like an idiot. And you're then like, you're going to make a mistake in a minute because you're being a dickhead.
Yeah, and it's fine if you're good enough and it doesn't affect your game, but it clearly is. Like, you're not thinking straight. That's why you're making mistakes. So just stop doing it.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he'd be better if we could stretch his arms out a bit? Because he's got a lot of digs about the Enzo goal, but I'm less scathing on that. I mean, I think some keepers could do better, but it's a clean hit that sort of gone round, sort of curved a couple of people. Just because something looks central-ish doesn't mean it's a total Rick.
And I think there was a lot in that tournament about that ball and how it would fly as well. And it would tend to fly almost like Jubilani-esque. It would sort of fly quite late. And I think that if you're trying to be generous to him, you could kind of say there was an element of that.
Also, we should have stopped it before that point.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
We're way too slow out to the short corner. We're way too slow out to Enzo Fernandez after we'd already had about 6 sighters. And I still think Pickford should save it, but there's 2 other chances for us to at least try and do something to stop that happening, to Brit from getting
that was 100% like the Messi factor. I have no idea why Anderson feels the need to come out and support Jed Spence when he's 1-on-1 against Messi. Spence is very quick. Messi's not going to beat him for pace. Okay, if he beats him for trickery, like, that's going to happen, but there's no need to go out there and then you leave Enzo on the edge of the box. Someone has to react too late, and he just got so much time. I think that was, as you say, we were too slow in general, but I thought Anderson's decision there was pretty poor.
Naive. But I think that was the plan, because Anderson was in and around Messi like the whole game, similar to Rodri was last night. He was in and around him the whole game. So the job of closing whoever it was, or Enzo, down on the edge of the box must have been down to someone else. No one came out. And I'm going to put that down to the subs, because in those situations, as a centre-back, that's never your job. So if you're defending deep from a corner and it goes out to the edge of the box, it's a winger or a midfielder. That's the job of. So if you've taken one of those off and put a centre-back on, you're then asking someone to do something that they don't normally naturally have to do throughout a game. And these are the mistakes that come from it, because it takes them an extra couple of seconds to think, fuck, I'm meant to be doing that, when they're normally not. They're meant to be in the box waiting for the cross type of thing. And I think that's where it's come from. Because if you have got another centre midfielder in there, or say a Rashford, as soon as that goes short, he's one that's looking to win the ball back and go the other way. So he's naturally a couple of yards closer to where Enzo picks up the ball in the first place.
It's what made it seem so weird. Like, just on a basic X's and O's sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where would you say Argentina are strongest? In midfield. So we took all our midfielders off and put more players in the back line, which they weren't really testing.
No.
Too much. Through the centre-backs. It weren't because the centre-backs were doing anything particularly wrong. And then all we did was just cede that space. So we're like, oh, well, there's no midfielders. We haven't even got Stayer anymore. And you got fucking McAllister ghosting in between 3 centre halves or whoever got the header. And it's just like, it's so naive.
It's mental.
And like
Mental.
I say, you bring on all the defenders, and then someone who shouldn't be winning headers with them, and they all look at each other going, "Well, that was your man." And they're like, "Yeah." It felt like it weren't planned. And it was like, just because it worked one game doesn't mean it's going to work the next.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And I know Argentina did start spamming crosses, but someone said that to me the other day, and I was like, why not just bring on players that are going to stop the cross?
Yeah.
Don't try and bring on players to win the header in the box, because sometimes, regardless of how many people you get in there, the cross is just too good. And the run's just too good. So just stop the cross.
Yeah.
It's the best way to defend it. Like Spain went about it an even better way, and they didn't even give him the ball. I'd love it if we could have done that. But if you're going to give him the ball, don't let him put the ball in the box, because that's the last place you want it. When you've got Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, Enzo Fernandez, who's actually a really good finisher and makes good runs to get on the end of these things. Just don't give them the opportunity to do it.
I was quite rattled in the pub when the pub went up because they saw Dan Burn coming on. I was like, this is not what we need, the overall mentality there was a bit off.
Yeah, and even late when we're Dan Burns up front, let's pump it long to him. Like, he's not gonna do anything even if he wins that header up the other end. Like, he gets his head on stuff, but it's never that accurate attacking wise. He scored about 6 headers in his whole career. Why is that the plan? If that was our plan B, you take Harry Maguire, because he actually nod it back into a decent area. Bonkers to me. Sorry, I've actually lost my head about it again now. Raging. I'm raging all over again. Oh, we're all having connection problems today. Stockies is gone now as well.
Just say, sounds like he swallowed a xylophone.
Am I back yet?
Your camera still looks like it's a potato, but no, gone. That looks at no, it's gone. But that was done. That was last Wednesday. We rolled into Saturday night, which I thought could have been quite embarrassing, but France decided to show up 45 minutes late, which did us a bit of a favour. But what did everybody think of that badness?
It's a mad game of football, isn't it?
I've never seen anything like it.
No. I think it just goes to show when the pressure is off and these teams can just free in football. Just sort of helped us massively. Like, we're in a team that obviously can't deal with pressure. Just has no pressure. You can see how good some players are. But again, I think it's just. I know we're meant to be going off the negative now, but it sort of made it more annoying because that is what they can do. And it just shows the depth of the squad, like bringing in the Sakas, Rice's first goal was excellent. And I know Stocks will probably pick up on this, but that's what he used to do on a regular basis for West Ham, is just head down and drive rather than sort of sit on it and play it around a bit, which he does well as well. But I thought that was an exceptional goal.
Yeah, certainly was. And I was in exactly the same boat. I was watching it, and I don't think I celebrated a single goal. I was just sat watching. This is actually pissing me off now that we're doing it. Like, really fucking pissing me off. And the more it happened, the more I was just like, I'm not even happy about this. I'm actually really annoyed that this is what we're doing right now. I would have rather just turned up and us been with flip-flops on like France were, because it was just like, why have we not seen this level of performance apart from one half against Croatia? Like, we've been okay throughout the tournament, but we've never really turned it on, and I thought we actually turned it on nice.
I have to disagree in the sense of not celebrating any goal. I did have to celebrate the last one because the simple playgroundness of Bellingham, the nature of how Bellingham's done it, that was prime John Aldinho, man, from the top playground. That was unreal.
Credit in time, because he tried it before.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, big kid in the playground stuff.
Yeah,
he's a fucking big kid.
Yeah, I've actually got a bit of a Might be a bit of an odd question. So as much as we're saying we played a lot better, looked like the shackles were off, there was no pressure. Does this fall into the narrative that I've heard people talking about, that we actually potentially play better without Harry Kane? Because we have a centre forward that does all of the good centre forward stuff, rather than just being a really good goal scorer and dropping too deep and vacating the space we need him to be in too often.
I think you fall into a pattern. I don't know. I think we're going to get to a point where it's him or Bellingham, and I don't mean for like to play up front or anything like that. But I think when you play them together, I wonder, do you lose a bit of both?
That only really falls into the Argentina game this tournament, though, because for the rest of it, they were literally like Shaq and Kobe. If one wasn't scoring, the other was, and there was assists to each other. And if up until that game, only 3 players have scored for us in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Until the 3rd and 4th place playoff, where technically we're out, and only 3 players have scored for us in that tournament. So I don't know if we can say they can't play together, but just watching them play and how expansive it was and how we actually looked like a better side, it just made me think of these people that have run that narrative that I've been against digging Harry Kane out of that, because he's clearly our best striker. But sometimes, like we said with Spain, it's not just about putting all the best players on the pitch at the same time. It's a system and the way people play that makes the team better.
Yeah, I think you can have horses for courses, and the best 11 players don't make the best team.
Exactly.
But but you know, he wants to play every game for his country. He wants to score in every game, and I think at the profile and the back catalogue that he has, it's going to take a brave man to drop him. And like,
I think
he has to take that on himself, as well as having a manager with the balls. He has to take it on himself. Sorry, Seany, I cut you off, mate.
no, sorry, mate. Yeah, I think it's down to the players as well. Like, in games, sometimes you've got to realize your role's going to change. Like, Kane's role in every game shouldn't be like, oh, one game, like the whole tournament, I'm just going to drop in and do what I want to do. Like, as we mentioned against Argentina, your role changes. You've got to be a target man. You've got to realize that, and the whole team's got to realize that and adapt, like, accordingly. You can't just be like, oh, Harry's changing. I'm gonna still do exactly what I was doing before. You've all got to like go into that mentality, and I think sometimes the changes doesn't help. I think quick wingers does help Harry Kane, like the Sakas on one side or the Rashfords, like especially Rashford and Gordon. I think going in behind massively helped him. Like playing into feet, just I don't think works. But yeah, I think it's a thing of careful what you wish for, isn't it? Again, it's a bit like the Pickford situation. You haven't got someone there that's like coming through that you go, oh, hang on a minute, like Harry Kane could be in trouble. It's just, I think he's going to be the starting 9 for the Euros, so you've just got to try and find a way to piece it all together.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because there's not really like an obvious successor, nor does it look like there's one on the horizon. So it's like, how long can Kane actually go? Because in all truth, like, he's talked about being like a real professional and looks after himself and so on. Like, is it that inconceivable that he goes to another World Cup?
Why not? He's never had pace.
Do you know? Yeah, it's one of them sort of things. I think it could be another couple of tournaments at least.
If we go another couple of tournaments and there isn't another striker banging on the door, it will annoy me, because like you look back to all them years ago, we had guys like Andy Cole that ended up with less than 20 caps, I'm going to guess that.
Yeah.
Sir Les, Ian Wright, you know, like there's absolute plethora in the 90s, wasn't there?
So even guys like Stan Collymore that never got a look in, that would be an absolute dream in this team that we've got when you really think about it. And now we're talking about that we've got Harry Kane that potentially has to go for 8 more years.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's just bonkers. It's just bonkers to think how we've got in that position as the nation of England, when we've always had a plethora of strikers to pick from. That it was almost embarrassing that when we failed, because it was like, well, you've got all these players. Why have you not just picked the right ones and you're still not done anything with them? It's just mad.
Global thing though, like 9's a bit like, you've got Haaland now. got Kane. There isn't many around the world. Like, not many teams play with out-and-out nines anymore, right? So is it just that we're sort of following that suit? I don't know.
It could be, but we're not developing them either, though, because the number 9 is kind of like a traditional England thing. Like, a lot of countries potentially never really had masses of number 9s. They had the odd one here and there, I suppose, that was really good. But it's like the number 9 shirt at a lot of clubs in England is a really massive deal. So why are we not producing more of these guys?
Because it's all about being technical and being rounded footballers.
Yeah.
You got to remember, true goal scorers ain't footballers; they're goal scorers. Like, they can play football, but they're goal scorers. It's a very different. It said on here, you got to be cold. You've got to be calm, and now everyone wants touches and flicks and strikers. You give the ball to get it back, you shoot.
Oh yeah.
When
you're running through 3-on-2, you play that pass wide a little bit too long, so they have to cross it back in.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to be a cheat.
You need a few of those guys.
We just don't have it. And also, I don't know. Well, you can't say as a nation, but I don't think we create players with that sort of the killer instinct, the technical skill matched with the physical skill to be a centre forward. Because you need a bit of pace too.
We definitely. Oh, sorry.
So you need a hint of pace too, and we just haven't got that profile. We can't match all of them together, which is quite strange. Everyone wants to be like holding mid or a number 10. When I was a kid, you all just wanted to play up front.
Yeah, 100%. You rock up. Where'd you play? Number 10. Where'd you play? CDM. Like, no, fuck off. Give me actual positions.
Do you know what? They were like, where do you play? Up front. Can you play anywhere else? Yeah, I can play fullback. They're like, yeah, go on, crack on. Yeah, all right.
Just madness. Pure madness.
Yeah.
I was going to say something then, but I lost it on that fucking.
Was it thinking, how can we train up old Liam Delap? Yeah.
Oh my god! No, Liam Delap's actually made me come to it. It's not Liam Delap though, because he's one of these players that's got a bit of it. Do you think that we've just not got enough dickheads?
Yeah.
Because like, Kane's a really good player, but I don't think he's enough of a dickhead. Like, you look at what Bellingham's done throughout this tournament. Yeah, yes, he's scored goals. Yes, he's been fantastic, he's putting big tackles. But people have been trying to wind him up. He's been looking in people's faces, laughing at them. That little ginger Argentinian rat said something. He slapped him on the back of the head. Like, we need more of that. We need a few more players, weirdly enough, like the Argentinians, that are just pricks for the sake of being pricks sometimes.
Yeah, it's nice to get in people's faces, but don't cross the line. Like, we're British, we still have to have manners about it. But you can wind people up and like say their mum and things like that. But you don't go around kicking them and things like that. You know.
So, Mitch, would you have taken Jamie Vardy on that basis?
Mate, if JD Vardy had still had any kind of legs, yes, 100%. He's the perfect kind of guy in this. If he still had a little bit of pace, 100%. Even if you played him off one of the wings, like it was the type of tournament that I reckon he would have killed at. But unfortunately for him, he can no longer run. So that is 90% of JD Vardy's positive attributes.
Yeah. Again, a bit of a wrong one. He was really good at football.
Yes, but I don't get how we're not still producing more dickhead football players. It's all too nice. It's all too manufactured.
Let me take this a bit further, because you've pulled a thread in this, mate. Just like watching it, do you reckon it's becoming a middle-class sport in this country? Think how much it is for kids to go play football now.
Yeah.
You've got to go over goals. You've got to go over this. Oh, mate, I know full well, Mitch, that me and you used to play at Lloyd's Park with the two trees that were just about to be in front of Mr. with all like things like that.
Yeah.
Now everyone's playing.
You see a lot less of that now.
Yeah, like, and like to actually play in a side just seems a lot more expensive. Oh, you bastard! I was on a fucking roll there.
No, we got most of that. You only dipped out for a second. We got too expensive.
Yeah, but yeah, it just seems all of it is expensive. It's not the working. It's just not a normal game anymore. It's all. Everyone has to go and it has to be perfect. Where we just go and have a kickabout. If we couldn't have a proper game, we'd play 60 or 11s.
Yeah.
Does that stuff happen anymore?
No. I reckon if you went out to found a group of whatever age group under 20 playing any football and you said, let's play Wembley knockouts, they'd be like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to Wembley to play knockouts. It's like, what? No. It's yeah, they just wouldn't have a clue. I think that is part of it. But I think the other part of it is there's too much focus on everything now. Like, because half of the players that you had back in the day, if they had to do as many interviews that players have to do now, they would constantly be in trouble. Because it was more of a there was a lot more allowance for you to be a bit of a character, a little bit funny about what you did. I remember seeing videos from West Ham's training ground where one guy's doing an interview and the other players are throwing massive lumps of mud at him while he's doing an interview for like match of the day or something. Like, there's none of that's left. You don't get any of that from any of their game. Like, where are the real characters?
I'd love to have seen like social media training at Hale End. That would have been something.
The thing is, we're the best ones for it as well. We're the politer ones out of the lot, and that says a lot.
But I also think as well, there's something to the fact I was saying the other day. It's like, I think because now with football, like that kind of pick up and play element has gone, because I think at the top level it's so much about being an athlete as well. And I think there's like I was saying to someone the other day. Now I'm not saying this is necessarily accurate or correct, but I think like a Wayne Rooney type now that was very much like street footballer, like coming. I think he'd struggle nowadays to get in at top clubs because of like you said, the profiling and like the focus on like the physical attributes and things like that. It's like sometimes that is secondary, and obviously as out of the four of us, the least experienced or competent at playing the sport. But like, I would just think now that the kind of demands have changed over that last 20, 25 years, and maybe that's what we're not. Yeah,
100%. Sorry, he's coached out. Like, you look at Grealish when he come through a Villa, he was one of the most exciting players to watch. And he goes to Guardiola, and obviously he wins everything, and he probably overall becomes a better footballer. But he's not as exciting to watch. And that's what I think the issue is. You've got like a lot of these players that probably have different attributes, but they're all being coached in the same way, and to use the same attributes, not use different attributes. And we were just talking a minute ago about Argentina and like how the whole world's like derided them for using them tactics. And like, that's what I think the issue is like the Allardyces, the Pulises, they were hounded for the tactics they used, when in reality it made the sport so much better because you had two styles of football. Now you've just got one style of football, and football now, like, I don't know how users probably going a bit too deep, but like, I find it boring the majority of the time. Like, I sit there and I watch games and I'm just like, it's until someone makes a lapse of concentration, it's not going to be something special. And I just think that's
Honestly though, Sean, how many times have we sat there and watched games at yours, and it's almost been like, if we weren't there with each other, you'd be like, God, we'd be like bored out of our minds at this point.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot more than you would think. Like,
yeah, I agree with both. I think John's point was fantastic. I think you picked a terrible example of player though, because I think Rooney makes it.
No, but I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was trying to think of someone that's got that
good athletes, even though he looked a bit chubby. Like, so I think you'd be looking more at your Letiziers and your maybe even someone like Paul Gascoigne and players like that
Joe Cole
were genuinely class.
Yeah,
but
Joe Cole
not really fit enough to do the running needed. Joe Cole.
I think I just say I kind of went with Rooney more just on the basis that he was very much like a street playground footballer almost at times. Like, and it was just the love of. I think it was probably, obviously, yeah, there would be much better alternates that you could pose than that. But I still think he wouldn't necessarily walk into like a top team at this point.
Oh,
Like,
I think he would. He was a monster
at a young age.
At 16, he was bullying fully grown men. Rooney was
Fair.
he was just an animal. I don't think he was an athlete. I think he was just a kid that was just a freak when it came to his physicality.
Fair play. Yeah.
I love Seany's point on the coaching thing. It's like it's the cult of management. And I know this myself. All managers, if anything, your ego gets bigger when you're a manager than you are when you're a player, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, like, you know, Seany mentioned a couple of names, which is they were perfect. They're perfect for my point. Most people would look at an Allardyce side and go, "Oh, that was terrible." Do you know what he did? He built a side for his best player to flourish. So Bolton, you'd have a Kocher. Say like at West Ham, we didn't have a player like a Kocher, but he set up a side and it would accentuate Kevin Nolan off Andy Carroll, things like that. Managers back then do things, you have your best player and how can we accentuate them? Whereas now, sort of, it's different for Argentina because Messi's a lot older. If it was 10 years ago, then you'd be panic stations. But now, your best player has to fall in with what the manager wants because that's his ideal. That's how he wants to play the game. Whereas, oh, well, I've 11 players. This one's the best, so we'll make sure he can be good. I remember a Southampton manager, Ball, from years ago.
Left or right?
Yeah. And he's setting out a training drill and he's doing.
Oh, hello.
I'll say he sets out a training drill and Letizier's not in it. And he's thinking, oh, am I dropped? And in the end, he was like, just that's how you set up. When you've got the ball, just give it to him because he's the only one that's going to get you out of relegation.
Yeah.
And sort of things like that. Whereas now, they'd have fucking they're running channels and shit like that.
They wouldn't. He just wouldn't be there.
Well, yeah,
He simply would not have done it. It's like,
yeah, but do you get the point? And it's
of course, yeah.
Cult of management now, sort of
Yeah.
detracts and leads to this boring stuff. Because
without me mentioning names that I normally mention for this, but like I've over the last 10 years, I've seen Saints kind of try to. Well, but we've brought in different managers that have come in with very different philosophies, and that's been what part of our problem, of our demise has been. Is actually, you know, like when Hasenhüttl came in, it was what we talked about earlier about it being the same from like the under nines all the way up. Like he wanted that in the club, and it was that very sort of like that 4-2-2-2, the pressing, like higher pressing. So he wanted it played at every level. We came out of him, and obviously we had kind of like the interim of the debacle that was Jones in that, but then Martin comes in and wants something completely different. And then, like you said, you had players that were a lot more attacking minded and like they were bombed out. To our detriment, obviously, but because they didn't fall in line with what he wanted, like a lot of very good footballers were bombed out of the club.
Yeah.
speaking of that, oh, sorry, go on, Mitch.
No, go with your point because mine was slightly moving away from it.
Yeah, I think that's where Tuchel disappointed me. I think I tweeted it like when I was pissed. I was like, "You're supposed to be different."
Yeah.
And that's what's upset me. He's just fell in line with all the other managers at the minute. I thought
that's normally when you do your best tweeting as well, Stops, to be
fair. yeah, true.
That's like social media training.
Yeah. Mate, if only you knew, John. I ain't saying stories on here. That's why Mitch is in control of the socials.
Knee comment, man. Knee comment.
But yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to be different. I thought he was going to make these bold decisions that perhaps is not the zeitgeist these days. He's fell into that trap.
Yeah, fully fell into the trap. But all of what we're speaking about, where football's become a bit safe and a little bit stagnant, where everything's about how you've been coached, do you reckon it just rolls into how much stats are used to manage the game now? Because people will be like, well, statistically we did this and we did this because the statistics and the numbers shows up that this is the best way to do this, rather than just viewing the game from watching it and going, if I move that player there and he does that to him, I could potentially score a goal rather than, well, statistically, if I get the ball to someone in the fucking 82nd percentile of the attacking third, we're more likely to score a goal against this team. And it's just, it feels like all of this stuff contributes to like the real class players that potentially might not be beasts athletically and might not be able to cover the most amount of ground slip through the net.
Yeah.
Spain who accentuated them. Other national sides ostracizing them.
Yeah, they would. They would be like, right, we're going to play you in a position where we can get the best out of your abilities, but you do have to do this little bit as well, just while you haven't got the ball, just to help the rest of the team out, rather than being, nah, you can't do the running, you're not coming in.
Exactly, like Pedri shouldn't work at the peak of international football. He's tiny, but he's such a fantastic footballer, and the way they play suits him.
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest of us are sort of running through treacle, as Sean said earlier on.
It's all about marginal gains now, though, isn't it? Like, it's all about how they can find the slightest weakness in the opposition. But what I think is, surely just, and this could be complete bollocks, but surely just throwing like a red herring in there and someone like, I'm not being funny, the top goal scorers in this tournament are the likes of Messi, Mbappe, Bellingham's, who don't really fall into that category. I wouldn't say that they're like operational players that will sit in a position. They're moments players. They'll get it and do something special with it. Like, maybe that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to base the rest of the team to be these operational players, and then you've got that one spark of genius. But I just feel like surely you can add a bit more of that to each team, or like change it up. Like, again, in-game management, just being like, well, this isn't working. Put it on the players to be like, well, let's go long, or let's, I don't know, like change it up a bit. Just constant sideways and like overlapping runs.
It's that
turn back and
rigidness.
play it inside. Yeah, exactly.
And it almost feels like it's it feels like it's all just been AI'd at this point. Like football tactics has just been AI'd, and that's not, you don't deviate from it. The management aspect is like we talked about, like the Allardyces and the Pulis and that, and when there was more than one way to play. Like Sean's point there was brilliant, because actually football was more entertaining to watch then, because you had teams that were trying. Say what you want about like Allardyce and Pulis being negative, they were trying to win football matches. Whereas I think you've got a lot of coaches now who actively take the competitive nature of their teams away by insisting on a certain style.
Yeah, they stay in it. They stay in it long enough for them to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And that, especially in England, so many teams have got so many fantastic players. Like the power of Premier League to get all these fantastic players from all around the globe. Like, so it's not like you're that massively deficient compared to, well, I know like the top two, but I think the fact that sort of Tottenham, West Ham struggles, you'd say they were like bigger clubs, and they've struggled because smaller teams have smaller, by the way, have just as good players these days if you're smart.
Yeah.
And
I think if you're
back then, they had to work hard to get these differences. Now it's just negating it and then just hoping you just pick on a mistake. Like you say, it's boring as fuck.
And I think what also doesn't help clubs like West Ham, and Saints tend to do this as well, and you could probably argue, Shawnee, that Spurs do this. It's like all it takes is for people to get itchy feet at boardroom level. You sack the guy that's in charge and you get someone else in that wants to do a whole completely different thing with what you've got. And then it's the whole horses for courses thing. Actually, you've then got to bomb a load of money on getting players in that suit what this new guy wants to do. And it's like, I don't think it's sustainable in the long run. Like there's going to be a lot of clubs that find themselves in a lot of bother, like playing that kind of managerial hopscotch. Yeah.
A lot of teams do that. It's not even the
Yeah.
So-called smaller clubs. Man United do it. Chelsea do it.
Yeah, true.
It's something that a lot of teams do. It's just a reactionary thing that they do when they change your manager. It's mad.
Yeah, I suppose Amorim to Carrick, right? Suddenly Mainu signs a new deal, and he was out on his ear at one point.
Yeah, what are people's thoughts on that anyway? Because he's the only outfield player that didn't get any minutes for England at all throughout this tournament.
What would he have done different?
Yeah, but then what is the point of him then?
What's
This is
I've
kind
got a
of
lot
my
of what
point
is
that
the
leads
point of
into it. If he's a
several.
player that you're taking in one of those centre midfield positions, that it's good if he can get on the ball and keep us ticking. But if you want someone who's going to affect the game when you're losing, we could have took an extra, because clearly we didn't need the one that was there.
Well, I think that counts. I think that counts for several people in that squad, to be honest.
Well, it does, yeah, because Tony didn't play till we were out. Chalobah didn't play till
Watkins.
Henderson broke his arm before he even played. Like, what is the point? Why not take someone that's potentially going to make a difference when you're losing a game?
And when you've left players like Cole Palmer and Morgan Gibbs-White at home, you know, like, and I think Gibbs-White is one that we particularly talked about on here as being like a massive sort of, that was a gamble for me, not taking him.
Yeah, 100%. It was a mistake. I'm not even going to call it
it's fair. Yeah, fair point.
It's a mistake.
Imagine his drive, his energy and work rate and ability to get forward against that Argentina side.
Yeah.
And guess what else? He's a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
So it rolls into one of them players that, fair enough, he hasn't been out there and won a load of stuff, but he's a bit of a prick. Sometimes you just need someone who's a bit of a prick to add that to the game. So why not? We've got just way too many nice players in the squad at the minute, I feel. It's just annoying.
Yep.
And you could argue that like Palmer would fall into that category. I'm not saying he's necessarily an outward prick, but he's kind of like, I think he's hard-headed enough and confident in himself that he probably classifies as a bit of a maverick, you know, like in some respects, in comparison to what we took. Right. I've probably not worded that.
Well, there's three midfielders that we've named. No, that was pretty spot on, to be fair. There's three midfielders that we spoke about quite a lot, and the other one's Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
Again, lovely player, but also comes across as a bit of a dickhead. And you need that little bit of an edge. It might be one of these things that's just getting a nice keeping around the training ground and all of that, and things will be better. But clearly it hasn't worked again.
Or is that Tuchel not being able to handle personalities? Like, is there something to be said for that?
Potentially, yeah.
It's always easy to handle your personalities when they're in the starting 11. So when they're not in the starting 11, things become issues.
He has dealt with the Neymars and the Messis and that before, though, hasn't he? So I think it's a tough one to throw at him. But I completely agree with everything. Like,
but you could make an argument, because there was a point where there was a lot of conjecture about whether Bellingham would make it. And when you see the tournament he had, that seems laughable now. But during the qualifiers, and he wasn't starting a lot and things like, and there was a lot of back and forth about what was going on in terms of like Tuchel and Bellingham. It's like, so I don't know, maybe like you said, I guess like easier to deal with a dickhead who's in your starting 11, and Jude was never getting dropped for anyone in that tournament. But
speaking of like people that just didn't do a lot, Eze. Is that another player that's regressed? Like, if he was at Palace, I would have had him nailed in this squad. He might have been even making the team in spots. But
I don't think he understands what his best position is anymore, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know. Like, did he look like he had a defined role when he came into games? Like, even when he started on Saturday, maybe not the best example, but I didn't watch him Saturday and think like, I understand completely what he's doing.
Because Eze is one of them weird ones that he thrived at Palace, but Palace play a mad bastard system that is very rare that you make work. They play two number 10s, like they play a left and a right 10. I always used to say, well, you don't get left and a right defensive midfielder. I would have said the same about the 10 position at one point, but Palace clearly play with a left and a right 10. And that's where he thrives, sort of in a space that's not wide, not in centre midfield, but also very attacking at the same time, where he gets to pick up these little pockets of space. But he's not the sole focus of someone's defensive midfielder. So he can pop up in areas and just do damage with a little bit of extra space. He's a very strange player to figure out exactly where he should be playing.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't work. Him and 10 with Kane up front, just because Kane and him want to occupy the same spaces.
Yeah.
Like it works with Gyökeres because he wants to be on the last man. The reason Bellingham works in a 10 with Kane is because Bellingham wants to go past Kane and he
Yeah.
wants to make them marauding runs. Like I feel like they was treading on each other's toes, and I agree with John. Like it looked like he didn't know what he was supposed to do when he came on against. Was it he come on against Norway, wasn't it? And I feel like Tuchel had to make like 2 or 3 changes to rectify that poor substitution. Because he couldn't take Eze right back off, like he would have destroyed his confidence. But then he sort of moved James in and he moved someone else out, and he sort of had to rectify a few things to sort of make it look like it was going to work. I think Eze ended up going out on the left. But yeah, I wouldn't say he's an out and out winger either. It's a weird one. He falls into a weird category.
Good player, but yeah, how do you make him work in any system, really, to be fair?
Yeah, you got to shoehorn him in, and then what's the point? It doesn't do him any justice either, does it?
Yeah, no, you get the best out of players when you get them playing to their natural instinct. You don't want them second guessing what they're doing all the time. That's just not a good way to get anything good out of anybody.
Yeah. It felt like a bit like, oh, we'll chuck the Arsenal geezer on. He must be all right at times. It's not. It's not really like, like why you got him deep. The ones that were playing deeper they're just as good. They're just, I did find it a bit odd, and it's detrimental to him because I think he's a better player than that. You just have to work on it. You can't just chuck him on and say fill a gap. I think he deserves a bit more respect than that.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Right. I think I've kind of run out of things on the World Cup, to be honest, unless anybody is. Actually, no, the awards that went off at the end. I'm going to say I'm pretty glad they didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
First one I want to talk about that I don't actually like the way it's gone is the Golden Boot. So I know it's factual who scores the most goals, but I think it's a bit shameless that goals in the third and fourth place playoff count because technically you're out. You can no longer win the tournament. So for them goals to win Mbappe the Golden Boot, I don't really like. I don't know what anybody else thinks of that, but it just feels a little bit off for me that they're the goals that won him the Golden Boot.
Agreed, mate. It makes me feel a bit old manish, and I worry about it. But yeah, totally agree. You're out. Don't matter.
Yeah,
you're not part of the conversation anymore. And it's taken from someone that was in the final. All right, he didn't have a good final, but he's still in the final and got them goals to get there. Yeah, that was. And also, I have to echo your sentiment. I am delighted that there was no Bandulu with the giving out of the awards, because I was concerned that Infantino was just going to force an award on Messi just because he's there.
Yeah,
he's at the Grand, and I was cringing because it had just been such a shame, especially when Rodri was pretty stand out. I didn't think was there loads of players in the running for it for you.
I feel it kind of has to go to someone from the winners.
Yeah.
But the winners were also just a really good football team.
Yeah, having an individual in that side doesn't seem right, does it?
Yeah, it feels a bit off. But if like, say someone had scored, even if they'd gone out in the quarters or the semis and they'd scored 5 more goals than everybody else and got a couple more assists than everybody else in the assist lists, that's the kind of thing you give it up to someone that's not in the winning team. But yeah, it's just pick Rodri, Kabasi, one of the fullbacks, like just someone in the Spain side, because they've won it. They've conceded 1 goal. Like they've won every game. Well, they drew 1 game, but they've won every other game. So
we had a final with 2 teams that couldn't beat Cape Verde in 90 minutes.
Good stat, that.
Funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't get how you argue against Rodri, because every game that I watched Spain in, he pretty much bossed. And he was the main man. He kept them ticking, kept them moving forward. Defensively was solid. Yeah, he was just different. The way they nullified France was a lot down to what Rodri was doing in front of that back four as well. So yeah, I don't think people can really argue against that.
No, I totally agree. We haven't really touched. That was a magnificent performance against France from Spain.
Oh yeah, it was just outrageous.
Yeah.
It was outrageous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We're talking about how they've kept Argentina to no shots in 90 minutes, but they did a very similar thing to France. They kept them so far away from the goal that it was just like it was just an exceptionally good performance.
It's such a waste when you see Laporte playing football and he's not in the highest leagues in the world. Like Kvaratskhelia, don't get me wrong, like it was the standout, but I think the reason he was able to do what he like, I just thought Laporte was excellent the whole tournament as well. Like, the games I saw of him anyway, he just hasn't lost an ounce of pace, I don't think, anyway. And he's just so good on the ball, like just fearless. I think it's great, and I think they've all got to have that, haven't they? Like to be 19, Kvaratskhelia, and some of the things that he was doing, like just standing on the ball on the edge of his box and waiting for someone to come and then just passing it through. Wanting the ball from the keeper all the time. Like everyone talks about Yamal being 19 and winning the World Cup, but that kid is unreal. It's unbelievable what he's doing at 19.
You said about Laporte, it always shocked me when he left Man City. I was like, why would you let him go? Must have been a money's thing. But yeah, I've always really liked him.
Yeah, and do you have to like you kind of got to give it to the Spanish manager a little bit more. Yeah, because like anybody from the outside looking in, probably if you pick that Spanish back five, including the goalkeeper, you would have had Raya in goal and Kvaratskhelia and probably Eric Garcia as your centre backs. And he's not picked two of those players, and they've conceded one goal in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to give him credit for that. He's gone against the centre back pairing that plays for Barcelona and the Arsenal goalie, who has probably looked like arguably one of the top three goalies in the world for 2 seasons now.
Well, helped get him over the line.
Yeah.
A couple of people pulled it up, like different WhatsApp groups, and like I had to point out, he was an Arsenal supporter, funnily enough. And I was like, you do know that Unai Simon's been his goalkeeper through the youth sides as well. And I was like, when you're a manager, you stick to what you know. Like, someone could be playing excellently, but if you trust someone, don't you?
Yeah.
And you tend to stick with
the tone.
that.
Yeah.
Huh?
He sets the tone as well, then he like the amount of times the ball went back to him. And I'm not just Arsenal bashing here, but there's a couple of times last season where Raya made a mistake where the pass was just like not had the right pace on it, or it was slightly to the left of the player, slightly to the right of the player. He was just foot perfect the whole tournament from what I saw. Like, player came in, he hit the ball at the right time to the right person. Like, just all them things set the tone, because when you break the press like that, it just destroys the opposition, doesn't it? Like, it starts from there.
Yeah, and I saw one moment where he didn't really look quite sure, and he just kicked it out for a throw-in.
Long, yeah.
30, 40 yards up the pitch, but out for a throw-in, and it was just like, didn't even attempt to try and play any pass. He was just like, I'm going to clip it to near halfway off the pitch. We can get set, good to go. And I was like,
Roger will get it back in a minute anyway, so it doesn't really
matter. Exactly.
Madness, let everybody get back in and we go again. And I thought he was exceptional throughout the tournament.
Football's a simple game made hard.
Yeah. And like Seany was saying about goalies earlier, you don't want goalies that are too erratic behind you, doing too much madness. And he just seemed calm. Like, even when there was a couple of times the ball was played through, the one Messi nearly got played through last night.
Oh, that was good goalkeeping.
And I couldn't see him at all. You couldn't see anywhere near the goal. And I was like, he's in it. And all of a sudden he came out of nowhere. And he was there, he won it.
Yeah.
Messi sort of ducked out of that, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah. And Alvarez had like a touch, like a 10-pound sledge.
Yeah.
Can you remember Simon making a save? Like
last night, or at all throughout the tournament?
Like at all. It just feels like Spain didn't really give up many shots.
I think he made a couple of kind of regulation ones against France. I don't remember anything stand out.
So basically, you reckon he's got the golden gloves, but he needs to take the boys out for a meal?
Yeah, I think that would have been for any Spain goalie though, because he's like he had a world record
Yeah.
not long before we conceded the goal against Belgium, the most international minutes ever without conceding a goal.
Wow.
I think it might be in major tournaments, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone say that it might have been in commentary or lead up to the game that it was something mental that he'd gone a certain amount of minutes without conceding a goal in international football in major tournaments, and it's the first time ever anybody's ever done it.
I think after the final, he would have broke the record for most clean sheets at a tournament, even if there wasn't that extra round as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, he'd already got it.
Yeah,
I think he'd already got the 6 that he needed, and the final was
he would have
7.
won it without that extra stupid round. I mean, phenomenal. But again, it just points to what an excellent side.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes keepers win awards for being outrageously good, and then sometimes it's like another nod to the collective.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is lovely. Isn't it nice we can all agree on a winner and everyone's happy about it?
Yeah.
Argentina were that much dicks. We all wanted to side with Cucurella in to win.
That is a worry, isn't it?
Yeah. And everybody was backing him as well when they were trying to get him sent off last night.
Yeah,
that was bad. Yeah.
What was the other award? Like we disagree with the golden
player.
ball. Young player. Yeah, well, same as the lovely for Cabrazi.
What was that? That went a bit mad there. I didn't hear that.
I mean, I was speaking of golden was agreed with a little bit through the third place, but then you got the young player, and again, it feels like the goalkeeper thing. It's like he's got the individual award, but it's another collective thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were going to give it to Yamal though, but I'm glad they didn't because he didn't have a great tournament.
I don't think he did anywhere near enough, and he barely played in the group stage, did he? I thought he would take the knockout round by storm, but
yeah,
he just didn't.
He weren't fit. He had a groin season. He was fit to be there.
Yeah.
So I think, but he's still done his bit for the team despite not being fit. Yeah. Which is good. Just what you want, you star players. That's when you know you're onto a good thing.
Yeah.
So outside of Spain, the final, the awards, was there anybody who you didn't really know an awful lot about before the tournament started who kind of stood out to you while you watched them during?
It's got to be Cape Verde, isn't it?
Yeah, Cape Verde. Yeah. Oh, that screamer!
Cape Verde goalkeeper, Seany.
Yeah.
He'll never have to buy a pint in Cape Verde again, will he?
Don't think he'll have to buy a pint in most places again, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's earned like 5 million followers on something as well over the time he's been in the tournament. It's mental.
Yeah.
What a crazy turnaround. For me, it's probably the young Switzerland geezer, John Manzambi, who it looked like we were signing for a bit, who's gone Villa. Didn't know an awful lot about him, but I think he looks a fabulous player. Looks like he could really kick on if things go well at Villa for him. So yeah, that would be my one.
I mean, whilst Lockie's thinking, I've always liked him, and I think this tournament, again, it goes back to Spain, but I think Olmo is such a great footballer to watch. Like,
yeah,
going back to the France game, the Porro goal, obviously, I've got a vested interest in Porro, but the little flick off to him was just so clever. Like, I think Roy Keane said it, like 1-2s are the hardest thing to stop in football, and
yeah,
it was just so clever. Just love clever footballers, and he's definitely up there for me.
100%. He's very much got a touch of the Bernardo Silva's about him, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Trying to think that the group stages was such a long time ago.
It's mad, isn't it? Do you know what? While you're thinking, Stocks, don't you think it's mad that we're into pre-season games before the World Cup final?
Don't sit well with me, to be honest.
I don't like it either, but
don't sit well.
It's just weird. It just seems weird. It's good because it's not that much longer till the season starts again, but it is just weird.
Yeah. I'm like I say, I'm really struggling because the group stages was such a long time ago. It's kind of hard to remember who are like them. No doubt there was someone
from Morocco, was it? The 18-year-old midfielder.
Bouadi.
Oh yeah,
I'd
heard about him a lot, and I liked what I saw, definitely.
Yeah, I heard noises. I don't think I'd ever really watched him that much. Seeing him, yeah, he's a very good player. I think he fell off a little bit the last couple of games. He didn't look as influential as he had early on. But again, he's 18 years old, for God's sake.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? There was a winger from one of the African sites I was really impressed with, but I can't remember who it is now. Like, you know, when you kind of go, there was a couple of players where I thought, oh, do you know what? Like, you're from a nation no one's really seen. I wonder if a Champo club will come in for you. Like the Cape Verdean players. I'm like, wonder where they're all playing. Like, would a Champo club be like, yeah, I fancy you one-on-one out wide in the Champo?
Yeah, but that's you've got to make sure that your manager's going to be willing to give them freedom, because I think that's what was so great about Cape Verde. It was the attacking players just had the freedom to do whatsoever. It wasn't like, if you're in this position, you've got to play that pass. It's just like you play how you want to play going forward. And I think that was the most refreshing thing about them.
You know, earlier on I said I love how Argentina players do everything for the badge and for each other.
Yeah.
Like Cape Verde with the pure innocence part of it, because they did everything for each other and for the country and sort of just played, if you know what I mean, to their potential. Probably it's safe to say much beyond it, especially from someone that didn't know much about it. That was nice. Remembered for a long time, actually.
Yeah. 100%.
In the cynical World Cup. They were definitely everyone's smile, I think.
Oh yeah, just a complete breath of fresh air from a footballing perspective. So yeah, big up to everybody involved in the Cape Verde journey. I haven't really got anything else to add, to be honest. I haven't really got time to do too much if we were going to delve into anything football/Premier League related. So we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, if you did.
It seems
Premier League. I'm not here, so I can't talk about Premier League.
I did say Premier League. I did say Football League and Premier League.
Right.
I actually went Football League first.
Okay, I missed that. I must have cut out again.
Yeah, no, I didn't forget again that we're split 50-50 with Premier League and Football League clubs these days. So
yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more next week. Some transfer stuff, how we think clubs are going to go, and and then we'll see where we go from there. But another great show, Seany. Absolute pleasure to have you back, mate. Long may it continue.
Thanks for having me, guys. Been good to get back into it. Thank you.
Always, mate. One of the originals back in. Stocky's flitting in and out. Stocks. Anything you'd like to add before we go?
Oh, insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't come through at all. But this is what we're going to end on this week. If it works.
That's good.
Nothing's happening. What's happening? What the fuck?
Oh, that's a shame.
Nah, it just doesn't fancy doing it. I'm going to cut that in to the show at the end anyway, just to make sure it still shows it. But for those that have been on, I forgot the admin again. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Send it to your friends and all of that. Get the channel out there. Hit them likes. Really does help. Much appreciated. But until next week, peace out, people.
See you later, guys.